everybody, welcome back to another video with Kat about Raid Shadow Legends! That was very quick. Today we are going to do a showcase of Packmaster Shaik and Crocad the Throat Ripper, who for the rest of the video I'm just going to refer to as Pac-Man and Doggo. We're going to do a showcase of them, and I'm basically going to talk about, were they worth all of the work? Were they worth all of the effort and resources put into it? And I'm going to talk about, you know, how their kits work, where I'm using them, all that good stuff. I actually made this video before we went to Miami. And I came back. I never posted it. And I came back and I looked at it and I was like, this is garbage. I think I can redo this. And the better part about this now is that at the time they weren't fully leveled up, not even fully ascended. And now I have them at 6-star. I have them at level 60, fully ascended. They're not booked up. Don't hold your breath on that, because I think I'm, like everybody, have a significant shortage of legendary tomes. But they are fully ranked up as much as I can in other ways, and I'm pretty far along in their masteries as well, so we're going to talk about how I've been doing all of that. So if you want to get started with Raid Shadow Legends, there's so much fun stuff happening. So this was a fusion that happened not too long ago, and then immediately followed up by a big old event with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So you can get all of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to use in-game. So if you click the link in my description, you're going to get the legendary Corrado Fox Hunter as soon as you complete the tutorial. Then you get the amazing Epic Yugo at level 15. Then you get Lady Annabelle, who's super helpful in kind of later game stuff, and you get her at level 30. And then when you hit level 40 in your account, you get Deacon Armstrong, who is insanely helpful in a lot of areas. Then you have to use the promo code Monkey King in the first 48 hours, and you'll get Sun Wukong. And I use him in Arena. I'm going to use him in Hydra, like we're going to see today. Super, super helpful champion. So you get 2 legendaries, 3 epics, and then for logging in for 7 days, you get legendary Michelangelo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And there are other ways of getting Donatello. Raphael is going to be coming soon. Leonardo is going to be coming soon. So jump in while you can to play it with all of these great champions. My childhood is complete by playing this, and I'm super happy. So let's go in and look at the Doggo and Packmaster. I did manage in the soul market. I found a 1-star blessing for Pac-Man, so I got that. So he's a little bit higher ranked than Doggo right here, but I have them fully geared up. But what I do want to do first is take a look at Packmaster Shaik's kit. We're going to do just a quick overview on this because we went over Crocad the Throat Ripper when his fusion was coming up, but never had a chance to look at Pac-Man. So what I do want to point out in here, what I love about him, I'm just going to go over a couple quick things. One of them is his passive. So when he is attacked, he places a hex debuff on the attacker for 1 turn, and then any ally who attacks a champion who got that hex from Pac-Man is going to do 20% more damage to that champion. So they take a lot more damage, plus there's the hex aspect of it where it kind of spreads to everybody. So it's a great passive. I'm pretty happy about that. And then when this champion is attacked, all ally doggos will counterattack. For Crocad the Throat Ripper, his basic is a really hard-hitting AoE that is incredibly helpful. It ignores reflect damage, ally protection buffs, pain link. It just gives everybody damage. And then it also deals the single target damage individually rather than AoE damage. It can sidestep any ways of like reducing AoE damage. He just gives everybody a lot of damage. So you're going to see that, and it's incredibly fun to see in the event dungeon, and we'll showcase that in a little bit as well. His A2 is something else I really love about him. So this is a self-cleanse and a self-heal, and then it gives him a shield buff for 2 turns, cannot be removed, stolen, or transferred if he's got the doggos with him. And then he also gives himself a taunt and a reflect damage for 2 turns. So he just basically diverts all of the damage onto himself for a while, gives himself a lot of armor. Well, heals, cleanses, gives himself a bunch of armor, and then gives himself a taunt. So all of the damage is redirected to him, giving everybody else a chance to breathe, maybe heal up from another champion if you have it built like that. And then his A1 has a decreased defense debuff for 2 turns, and then he teams up with his allies, and they use their default skills. So again, we're coming back to that really hard-hitting AoE from the Doggo. So his kit is really fun, but it is 10 times more fun actually using the doggo himself. I want to show their masteries really quick. So the mastery, normally with most champions, I'll give them that general PvE mastery that we see on Hell Hades. But for him, since I know I'm never using Pac-Man by himself, they are now a team. They're going to go together in every area that I use. I'm never going to use one by themselves. Very rarely, I think I will use one by themselves. So I'm building their masteries in a kind of dual sense. Like I want it to be working best with his partner. So the same thing with Doggo down here. I'm going for the PvE, nuker, and counterattack focus. So since he's always going to be with Pac-Man, I know he's going to be counterattacking all the time, and that counterattack is really, really nice. So I want him to just come in and slaughter like the dog he is. And so that's how I have them. That's what I'm currently working on. Neither of them are quite done with that, as you can see, but they're pretty close. We're getting there. We're getting into the super fun area where it's just going to take 100 years for me to get these last few scrolls. They are doing really well. I've been focusing on Packmaster Shrek's accuracy more than anything, and then I've been building that up as much as possible. With the doggo, I'm focusing mainly on attack and his crit rate and crit damage. I give him a little bit of accuracy, but it's not necessary with his kit, as you saw in the original video we made about him. And I just gave him a little speed. So basically pinpoint, slayer, feral gear, all of that good stuff. What I want to do is we're going to showcase them in Hydra and in the event dungeon. So the event dungeon, we've been having events running to run the event dungeon as much as possible. And I can do up to stage 20, which I'm pretty proud of. That he's kind of difficult. And since they've recently done a big overhaul on the chronophage gear, I actually like it. I wasn't a big fan of it before, but now I'm pretty into it. So I love using these two. And this is also a great place for us to see. I also want to show you how often Doggo is counterattacking, especially when he's getting hits from other champions. So we're going to go into this and look at this really quick. And then I'm going to show them in their other best area, the one they are built for, which is Hydra. All right, so I have defense down coming in from Deacon Armstrong and then attack up from Duchess Lilitu. And the nice thing is about this event dungeon, there's a lot of AoE hits. And then especially with Pac-Man having that taunt, that directed taunt, and bringing all the damage and attacks to himself, that means Crocat is just going off constantly. And you see that doggo has an insane amount of damage from that. I think that's his A3. He's just wonderful. So I've been mowing my way through that. When we had that event for the beginning of the pizza points, I mowed through it, no problem. So we're seeing a really good example of that. So now we're going to go into Hydra, which is the main reason that I got them, because I was starting them off with normal, but I think they can come in as my hard team now. I have them alongside 2 revivers. We've got a perfect... Michinaki is going to do a lot of damage too, but they are just going to go off. The last time I did a quick battle with them in normal mode, it was 15 million damage with this team. So we're going to try it out here, and I'm going to show you... We're going to take it slow so I can show you guys exactly what they are helpful with. All right, so first thing, we've got a turn meter fill and 80% chance of blocking buff debuffs on all enemies for 2 turns. That cannot be resisted since we have the Crocad. So we're going to get a fill and they get a block buffs, which is really helpful here in Hydra. Doggo here, so that was that insane amount of damage that we saw. And that because he repeats the attack because of Pac-Man on the team. But I would rather do a leech and a weaken, because then they're going to take more damage. The only thing is they are a bit squishy. Doggo in particular, so that's why it's important that I have 2 revivers on this team, and then Godseeker, who has a double revive. So now's a good chance for me to have him do a taunt, and that is a completely protected taunt. Now what I like about this is even as Packmaster is doing his A1, it's just going to keep triggering the A1 from Crocad as well. And so that means you're just going to get that constant flow of damage that's not turn-based. So the nice thing is once they're going to be fully booked up, at least when Pac-Man is fully booked up, then we're going to be able to trigger this A2 all the time. And then he's constantly going to be taunting and bringing and triggering that A1 over and over and over again. And that's the main beauty of it, in my eyes. Oof. Gosh, that was so wonderful. I love seeing those big chunks come out of the Hydra, out of their health. I love just the endless loops of doggo ghosts. So we're in the first chest, so we're doing okay here. The goal is to get over 20 million damage here. I don't know if we're going to be able to with this team, but it's at least nice to be able to start, you know, hitting some of these higher levels of Hydra with some of these teams, because then I can save like the lowest level difficulty for my other teams that are a little more squishy. And there we go. All right, so we're gonna get back Doggo now. It's annoying that they picked Doggo. Well, it's understandable that they picked Doggo here because they typically go for the champion that's doing the most damage or the most crit damage. I can't remember which one it is. Oh, that's gonna be a problem. Well, at the very least, the only thing I wanted to make sure happened is that we got to the first level of chest on here, so then it's not a complete waste, but yeah. So we got, oh no, we even got to the second chest on here. Okay, so I'm not worried about max chesting Hydra just yet, but I would like to be able to, we just barely, but still counts. I wanted to get to at least the second chest on here, but that is fantastic for me, so I'm going to keep that. And that also opens up, me doing that in hard mode means that I can bring in a squishier team for normal mode so I can get a chest there. The goal is to be able to get at least the basic chest on all 3 difficulties, because regardless, I'm going to get Mithrala fragments, and because who doesn't want Mithrala? Look at this pretty lady. So we're getting there. I'm at 73. We're about 3/4 of the way there. And I've been concentrating more on Hydra now. So having Doggo and Packmaster are a big help for my Hydra. The other thing is I'll touch on very, very quickly. My orc crypt in Faction Wars has exploded. Like I think I was where I was in High Elf last time, and I gained 12 points, like 12 stars. I made an explosive amount of growth with these two because they're both in the Orc Crypt and they just mow through everyone. And other team doesn't even, like, enemy doesn't even have a chance to go. So we don't even worry about losing any champions. So it was like 3-star, 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 4 stages all in the last round. It was fantastic. So the conclusion is I am very happy that I did this fusion. It was a lot doing that. And then the Packmaster event and then the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle event started immediately after all of that stuff. So it was a lot, but it was worth it. And what I'm starting to put together here is that the fusions generally are worth it if you can. Some have been historically more worth the work than others. Fabian. So these were, I wasn't expecting a lot from Doggo because he was a fragment fusion and those tend to be easier. And therefore, they tend to be not as much, like, maybe not as good as the harder fusions. But this was not the case. Doggo was fantastic. He has a super high rating on Hell Hades, but I really love him. He is absolutely up my Hydra game like nobody's business. So, generally, in my experience, putting in the extra work into the game, like putting in the work for these fusions or all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle events, is worth it. Every time for me, it has been worth it. So I will be doing a similar video once we have all of the turtles together, maybe even some with just the 2 of them, but obviously it's taking me a while to upgrade some of these champions. So it's probably going to be a minute before we get the turtles, but let me know down in the comments if you like your Doggo. How are you enjoying it? And thank you guys for being here. If you haven't already, click the link in the description to get Corrado Fox Hunter. And the wonderful Yugo, who is also really helpful in Hydra, I just gotta say. Lady Annabelle, who's gonna help you in Doom Tower and Curse City. And Deacon Armstrong, who also is can be very helpful in Hydra, but more helpful in Arena. And then Sun Wukong, who is, again, very helpful in Hydra, but we love him. Use the promo code Monkey King to get him, and then log in for 7 days and get Michelangelo and play with the turtles. So we will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for being here, and I'll see ya.